Hey, welcome back to Three Men at a Table. I am Palmer Holland, your host.
I'm Sean Kent.
And together we're the three guys love talking about real estate, business, and the people who make the industry great.
Yeah, there we go. I love that. You rhymed a little bit there. So,
Hey,
were you reading something?
we're
Was there a
practicing.
script? Yeah, probably. All right. So today we got episode number two. We've got a very, very special guest near and dear to our heart, Miss Michele Creech, one of our, I would say the branch is probably before I got involved with the branch, like a founding, we don't want to say like founding father, but founding mother of the mortgage branch. She kind of is like a mother hen for a lot of us, like making
Yes.
sure that I don't get in too much trouble with the things that I say. We've got Miss Michele Creech. Welcome, Michele. Round of applause. We'll do like an audio
Hello.
track for a round of applause or something like that.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna run you through the calls. So this is you've been ambushed. We're just
Oh
gonna
my God.
record all of this and then send it to all of your friends and family that you're gonna talk trash about. No, so
Great.
I feel
I'm
like you
game.
would you would not have a problem with that at all. Like you would
No.
be, yeah, you'd be okay with that. So um, I would I would like to just kind of just kick this off like with a very, very high level service of gratitude for Michele. Michelle's been in the industry for over 20, is it 24, 25 years, something like that,
20,
right?
26 years. I started in
26 years, right? And
2000. Yes.
for those that are listening, in real estate and mortgage, that is like 100, it's like 10 decades because
Yeah.
as you guys may know, like interest rates change on a daily basis. And I'm surprised that we don't have more gray hair than we do.
What grade
But
were you, Palmer, in 2000?
Oh, we're not doing
in
that.
2000, I just started high school. Yeah, I was a freshman
Wow.
in high school. Yeah.
I was
Wow.
a
Yeah.
junior.
Graduated.
I was a junior. Alex
Yeah.
would have
All
been a
right.
senior.
Oh yeah, I was a
Okay,
senior.
boys.
Yeah, there
But
you
you
go.
you were like 19 at that time, right? Just right ahead of us.
Yeah. Yeah. I started when I was
Exactly.
like 10.
But she's an OG in the industry. She's been doing it for a really long time. For us at our group, she is our production manager. So she keeps us in line and makes sure that our production is managed and our people are doing really good things. And on top of that, she produces herself and is one of the top producing loan officers that we've got with the group. And in kind of like the industry, so welcome again, Michele. We're going to kind of kick this off. I want to try to get to know you a little bit more. I mean, for us, we know you pretty well, but as we've got viewers and listeners with the podcast, we want to kind of unpackage who is Michele. So, just kind of starting out, like where did you grow up? You grow up here in DFW? Where'd you grow up?
So I was actually born and from Chicago area, but I did get to Texas as quickly as I could. So I've been here since I was 3 years old. And we moved to a very small town called Maypearl, Texas. And that is where I'm from. So when people see me, they're like, "You're a country girl." 100%. The town still doesn't even have a stoplight in it. So I've been been in Maypearl pretty much my entire life. Married my high school sweetheart. So I've been married, just celebrated 30 years of marriage. And so
Nice. Congrats.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. We have
Yeah,
one daughter.
congrats.
And so yeah, Maypearl is where I'm from in Texas in the Ellis County area.
Now, so what was the population in Maypearl, if you can remember when you moved there, and what is it now? Because it's still, I mean, I'm not like trying to say anything bad about Maypearl. I
You
know where
won't.
Maypearl is, but
I think I've been through
like
there
it's not
once.
a lot of the growth in the Metroplex hasn't really made it out there. It's still a small kind of like
So
city, isn't it?
it's growing quite a bit.
Yeah.
When I first came there, now my husband has like his mom, his great grandparents, all of them were from April. So we were newbies into the area, is what we call them. It was 781 people in the town on the sign, Maypearl, Texas, when I moved there.
Hmm.
Uh,
Well, it's not much bigger. It's 939 according to the
it's
last
more than
census.
that. It has to be more than that. It has to be more than that. There's a lot of new construction out in the fields that we used to drive through, and I learned how to drive a car, a standard in a field, so in the pasture. So now those are
Hmm.
full of houses. So it's pretty amazing how real estate has uh, been in my life my entire life, and not really even realizing it. So
Yeah. Now, originally from Chicago,
mhm.
do you travel up there like often at all? Like, do you go back up to Chicago pretty frequently?
Yeah, so we try to get there as many times of the year as we can. Usually we're running about 2 times a year. I
Hmm.
have 8 brothers and sisters, so I have a lot of family still there, nieces and nephews. So I like to get up there as much as I can to see everyone.
That's a large family.
What part of
Yeah.
Chicago?
So I was born in Woodstock, but my family's still in the McHenry area. They live some suburbs outside of the city, but it's about 45 minutes from downtown Chicago. Uh,
Mm.
Here's a little fun fact is that when my mom and dad were married, they lived on this street and it was named after my mom. So she lived on Ann Street. So when my
Mm.
parents got divorced, I was like, are they going to change the name of the street? So I always wondered that, but they never did. Uh, but a large family of us, we all start with M's. Do you want me to go through the roll call? Show you
Yes,
my
please.
M's?
Yeah.
Please,
Okay.
yeah. Let's. I mean, we got time, right?
So my dad's name is Mike. My stepmom's
Mhm.
name is Marla. So I thought my mom and dad got divorced because their name didn't start with M because I was so young.
Yeah.
And then my sister Maria, and then me, Michelle, and then Mike and Michaela, Mason, me, and Maris. The cats are Mac and Macy were our
Wait, oh,
cats.
you're a cat lover.
Well, they were. I'm not.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Dang.
I'm a
What?
dog lover.
What's so well,
No,
like? I mean, so what was the reason with the M? Did you ever ask?
Just it kind of went with everybody because my sister and I had M's. So then my stepmom had an M. So she named all the rest of her 5 with M's. And then the craziest part is my sisters were marrying, my brother married his wife, Michelle. So, and their
Okay.
kids, Mal and May. Then my sister, my brother Mason married Melissa. So it goes through all the M's. So we're an M family. My
Wow.
daughter is Madeline.
Is she gonna keep it going?
She
Yeah.
may.
Is she gonna break
No,
it?
she's not. She's gonna break it. Okay. Somebody had to do it.
Yeah, right. So
Hey, well,
fun
it's like
fact.
who is it? Is it George Foreman? Have you ever looked up George Foreman's kids'
With all
names?
the Georges.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I think he has like what,
Oh,
11 kids or something like that. Yeah, they're all like I think the majority there are some ones that are normal. I guess George is normal, but um,
yeah,
there's a lot of variations off of like his name George, I think one of them is
interesting.
Georgina, Georgetta, something like that. I don't know.
Georgette is Georgetta. He has 7 daughters. They're not all George, but he has one is Georgetta.
Yeah.
But his boys are all George. George Jr., George the third,
Hmm.
the fourth, fifth, and sixth. Yeah, but he
Yeah.
has
Yeah,
nicknames
yeah.
for them: Monk, Big
Yeah.
Will, Red, and Little Joey.
Yeah. Little Joey.
Yeah,
There you go.
little Joey.
Uh, That's awesome. Okay, so where I was going with that question is as you kind of travel back to Chicago and here, like as it pertains to real estate, right? For those that are tuning in for real estate, like what do you notice in the Chicago market that's a little bit different than the Dallas Fort Worth market, when it comes to real estate?
You know, the price of houses are so much different.
Mm,
You can definitely. I remember looking at some houses ago. I could buy 2 houses in this area compared to coming here in
yeah,
Texas. The advantages there, no state tax, all those things that we kind of negotiate. When people come into our state, they're like, "Well, we have high property taxes." Well, we don't have a state tax.
yeah.
There's exemptions that are put in place. So uh, that's what I noticed is just the price difference and not a lot of brick homes, which is kind
Yeah.
of
I actually have
interesting.
friends and family in Crystal Lake, so that's
Oh,
not too
that's where my
far from.
sister
Mm.
lives.
I'm
Yeah,
in
my sister.
Algonquin and Elgin and Crawford.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, nice. That's
yeah.
cool.
That's legit. Yeah, Alec, you go up there
No,
for
all the time.
DJ,
I
right?
run my business, yeah, out there
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Oh,
So
cool.
anybody that's listening that needs a DJ for kids parties, that's his specialty.
He wears a clown suit when he does it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Mortgage tunes. I don't
All the
know.
money.
Yeah, there you go. So, so yeah, I had a client that was looking in the Chicago area recently, and that was one of the big things that I noticed. Like the price point's a lot,
Hmm.
say a lot
Yes.
cheaper than what we see. Um, but Chicago, I mean, Chicago's one of those areas. It's not. I don't think it was affected as much with the '08, '09 housing crash as some other parts were, from my understanding. Um, it's been like a relatively
Yeah.
strong market for forever. So, all right. So, getting to know Michelle. One other question, then I'll kind of kick it off to Sean, because Sean, I know, was chomping at the bit to ask you some questions about some of your business stuff. But if you weren't, let's say, if you weren't doing mortgages, what would Michelle be doing?
So what everyone says that I should be doing is party planning. So
Okay.
planner. So I do a lot of weddings and showers just on the side. I enjoy doing it. It's fun. Um, just got done doing my daughter's wedding. It was pretty amazing, I have to say. At cost efficient. I'm very I'm not saying cheap, let's just not say that,
Hmm.
but I'm very careful
Frugal.
on where money is spent. Frugal, I guess you could say that.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's what I would do. I love the whole party planning part from start to the entire process, even at the end, seeing the end result. I do like the other day, I did a balloon arch in like 30 minutes and then went back and locked a loan. I ran to the other room, made a balloon arch for some agents, and then I ran back and locked a loan. So yeah, I would say party planning. That's something I would enjoy doing.
Well,
I'm
now you have a
surprised you haven't
DJ.
opened a venue, to be honest. You should do
Yeah.
that.
That's what everybody's telling me. You should buy this. There's like this venue in Maypearl that's for sale. They're like, you should buy this and you could do your party planning and you should do this. I'm like, yeah, but I love doing it. I feel like if I had to do it, then I may not like it as much. That's the only reason.
Well,
Yeah.
it's time consuming too, right? Like the event planning, or can
It
it? I
can
don't know.
be. I just plan very well. I'm very
Yeah.
organized. I have all my bins. They're all labeled. It makes it a lot smoother.
I've
The
seen some of those bins.
yes, you have done a lot of yes. And I can lift them too. So I'm all running around when I shouldn't be, but I am.
Would you say that, like, would you say that it could be something you could look at for your business, like the origination? Like, do you feel like if you did event planning, or like some avenue of it, or branched off into that, like a lot of times in our industry, in real estate or mortgages, we're like, we find kind of like this little niche or thing that we're really good at, that's outside of our day-to-day stuff, that we kind of lean in on, and a lot of people find success with it as it accentuates a lot of their business. I mean, have you ever thought about, hey, if I lean into event planning, how does that help me provide more value to home buyers, or present for my realtor partners, or something like that? I mean, have you thought about that?
Yeah. I mean, I've actually already incorporated that into my business.
Mm,
We do Pi Day, which is a big event we do in our Mansfield office for all our past clients every Thanksgiving, the week of Thanksgiving. And the spread, I do the whole spread for all the food and do all that for them. So there's a need and a want.
yeah.
And so that's what I like to do. So I guess I've already kind of incorporated a little bit.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Thought I'd ask. You always try to find like some little nuggets that people do.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Sean, I know you had some questions there, so I'm going to let you
Okay.
kick
Yeah,
it off.
you want to kick it to
Yeah.
me? So we talked a
Yeah.
little bit about getting to know you, but what got you into mortgage in the first place? How did you accidentally find yourself up in mortgage when you were 10 years old or whenever you started?
Well, since I got married so young, which I did, I got married at the age of 17 years old. Went off to the military. In a military town, there wasn't much that you could find of work because we were stationed in Fort Hood. So uh, I started in retail. So I was in retail, worked my way up from back to school part-time, worked my way up to management. And then we got out of the military, we came back home to Maypearl. And when I did that, I worked at my local bank in town. And it was fun seeing, the people that I grew up with, going through the drive-through, and I worked the drive-through. I was the best drive-through teller. To this day, I still hold it. I still hold it.
They still have your picture up
Though,
on the wall,
yeah, those
employee
Friday
of the month.
afternoons, I didn't have a very long line. I got that stuff out pretty quick. So one
I
of my
believe.
good friends at the time was in mortgage, and she came to me. She goes, "You know what? I'm a loan officer. I'm a loan processor. I really want to originate. I need to find my replacement as a loan processor first before I go into origination." And she goes, would you be interested?" I said, "Sure, great. I would love that." Just had Maddie, was trying to get back into building a new career since I got out of the whole retail side of things. And I started as a loan processor. Which I think every originator should start at that position because you learn from the start, the middle, the end, and all the sides
Yeah.
of mortgage. So yeah, I started as a loan processor. I processed for 9 loan officers, all around the Metroplex, even down to Waco, and then got my license and started just originating on the side, and then just grew to love it. And finally, one day, my husband goes, "Michelle, you need to take the step and originate full time." I was scared. It's commission, right?
Sure.
And so, yeah, I did the leap, and I did the leap right when the market crashed. Uh, and I survived it.
There you
And
go.
that is the reason I think I loved it so much because I was surrounded by people who were supportive. My agents were like my best friends, and we all survived 06, 07, and came out stronger.
No, awesome. And did you
Mm.
think that you'd still be here 26 years later when you started?
I, a part of me did. I knew I didn't want to do the loan processing side my whole entire career. The origination side has been, it's fun. I thought it gave me more flexibility, but actually I work all the time. So I'm in the office 24/7, and I work 24/7. So that's why when Palmer gave me the opportunity of opening up the production manager side of things, I felt like that's something where I can still contribute to new loan officers coming in, helping them structure loans, getting stuff together, because that's what I needed when I was at that part of my career, and there's no one there to help me with that part. So that's the opportunity that Palmer and Meridian's given me, and I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to learn the balance of it. But definitely love it for sure.
Yeah, we were talking about
Yeah.
in our opener last week how dog eat dog this industry can be, and how you do need someone to kind of guide you at times and show you things. Because if you're not self-motivated, this place can eat you up and spit you out really quick. So did you have a
Sure
lot of good
can.
mentors, early on?
I did. My very first mentor, it sounds insane, but was an underwriter. Her name was Mary Lou Pearson, and she was the best underwriter. She was back in our broker days, and she took the time to explain stuff to me. Understand, she taught me how to pull a FHA case number, how to do your CAVers, and do all the things that an underwriter should not have time to do. And she really, I think, structured the way I do my business the right way from the very beginning. And to this day, she still comments. I see her on social media. She's still partly in the industry as an underwriter. So I would say she's one of the main ones. And I worked for a loan officer. Her name is Lisa Burke, still in the industry to this day. Her and I were a great team. We learned together. We got in it first day together. And so we learned a lot from each other. So I would say those
Mm.
two really contribute to kind of where I am today.
Awesome. What do you think has changed the most over the last 26 years? Because I mean, obviously you've seen the highs and the lows probably a couple of times over now. So what's changed? Because I don't think people realize how much changes in our industry.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different changes. I mean, from appraisals where we used to have them couriered to us with real pictures on the actual report. They didn't email them. Like that wasn't a thing. To
People etched their applications in stone, right? Like on cave walls. That's what
No,
they
we had
did.
couriers that delivered the files downtown Dallas where all the underwriters were, is what we did. Or overnighted
Wow.
them, but
Dude,
everything was,
imagine a rush.
oh, believe me, there was
Like, hey,
one loan
let me
officer.
find you. Yeah.
One loan officer, will not say her name, but she was the rush queen. And
Yeah.
I would fax in conditions as fast as I could to get them in. So I would say, knowing the products and knowing the guidelines where today we can simply just go into chat or go into, our company has the hub and you can go in there and look. We literally had a book, the 4155, and you opened that book and you went through it to find what the guidelines were on an FHA
Yeah.
loan. So I think that helped quite a bit. And then, just the systems have changed where you verify employment, whereas we would get on the phone and call every single employer and verify employment. And I think with those changes through our industry has really streamlined the process to make it pretty quick and easy if you know what you're doing and you structure everything from the beginning correctly.
Do you think that with all the advancement in technology, though, that sometimes, even though it's made it easier, that maybe it's made us lazier at the same time?
Not me, because I double check everybody's work. You know me, Sean.
Yeah, you do.
I do double check. I manually do my ratios if I feel like that, because you can't trust that 100% of the time. Manually do my income. So I think that's why, but that's the old processor to me, right? So that's kind of how I originate my business and be able to do so. Do I feel like other people do? Well, that's why I want to be in this position to change that as a production manager, to show them this takes 5 minutes that can save you hours of sleepless nights fixing at the beginning.
No, absolutely. I learned very early on in my career that how you set up a file will determine your success with that file. And the cleaner it is up
Mhm.
front, the more prepared you are up front, the better your chances of getting that file all the way through to the end and quickly you are. So we talked about what has changed. What do you think hasn't changed? What's been consistent in the industry over the last 25 plus years?
You know, I feel like the overall, we need the basic things from a client, right? We need your pay stubs, your bank statements, your W-2s, tax returns, self-employment. Those are not going to change because those are pieces that we need unless we go into the no income DSCR stuff. Besides those loan products, I think
I
just
love
a
those.
Yes, DSCR, they're fun. If you don't know about it, give me a call, 972. No, I'm just kidding. Um,
Yeah. Plug yourself. Yeah. Let's
so
go.
I feel like that's one of the biggest, the people think, oh, by now you shouldn't have to supply that information. Well, yeah, we have to know. We've got to know
Mhm.
if is it variable income? Are you salary, can we spit that out? Or
You got
hourly,
it. I believe in you.
yeah, thanks. I appreciate that, Homer. But yeah, I mean,
So,
I just feel
so
like just the documents needed is going to be from the start 26 years ago to today that we need.
Oh.
Gotcha. So there's the consistency there. What do you think is the number one key to being successful in this industry? What makes someone good as a loan officer?
I think the main is communication.
Mhm.
If you're communicating to all parties in a transaction, it's hard to fail, right? Because you're keeping everybody up to date. You have your buyers, you have your buyer's agents, you have your listing agents, you have your title companies, even your processing staff. If your communication is on point, then it's going to be a smooth transaction, right? If it's not smooth, it's expected. That's where the problem is. When you have unexpected things happening on the file, that's where frustration, stress levels get, escalated. And that's one of the things that I've learned is my communication and building those relationships with my agents and my clients too, because you got to build that trust first. You have to earn their trust. And if you're doing that at the beginning, that's going to make the process pretty streamlined, I believe.
Sure.
Would
How
would
do
you would you
you go ahead, go ahead, Vaughn.
Oh, I was just gonna say, just kind of like pulling on the string of communication. Um, how as a loan officer, right? You had mentioned earlier, like your commission, 100% commission. So there's a lot of stressors that go into kind of like the line of work that we do. Real estate agents are 100% commission too, so it's a very performance-based job. You perform well. But what would you say to a loan officer or real estate agent that is listening to this, that is wanting to grow their business as it pertains to communication? Is there like a particular like methodology that you use to make sure that you're communicating? Like I've heard like touch the client, touch the partner kind of thing. Like you got somebody under contract. How often are you updating them on things that are going on? What's the manner that you're doing it? Like, what is Michelle's process for communication?
Well, you got to ask them, what's your best way of communication? What works for you? Because it doesn't work for everybody. Like some
Yeah.
people will say, I never open my email, so don't email me, text me, call me. Some people, I have agents, if I call them, something's wrong because they don't like to be called. So
Okay.
learning what their communication that they prefer is at the beginning, I think that's your best practice right there. So then you know what to
Cool.
expect.
Yeah.
Are
So
you,
you
go ahead.
kind of like on board and you ask them like, hey, um, is something to the effect probably of like, just I need to communicate with you. What's your preferred method?
Yeah,
You get the permission of whatever it is. Okay, cool.
for sure.
And I was gonna ask you like with we talked about with how organized you are in your little side business with doing wedding planning and event planning. Are you the same way with how you handle clients and realtors? Do you have a certain way that you organize data for them? Do you have a notebook? Do you do it electronically? How do you organize yourself with your clients and realtor database?
So I do a little bit of both. I'm still, old school. I've got to write. I feel like when I write something down, I retain it more than typing. That's just how I learn. But yeah, I have different avenues. I do it in two different places. I have my database with our total expert, Jungo, bringing that into my business. And then I have my remarkable that I write stuff in. So those are things but I have a process and a system that I pretty much do with every single transaction. So it goes, you know, in the order that I've always done. So I kind of know what that looks like. But yeah, I've been keeping that organized. And then I have so many agents that I have constant business with. They know what I do, right? So I've already established that with them so they know what the expectation is. So if I'm ever off my game, because I'm never going to say I'm on my game 100% of the time, there could be something that I've been off my game. They'll be like, hey, Michelle, usually by now you do this. And, that's where, because we have that relationship, they know what that system looks like.
Right. Last thing I'll say, and then we'll move on. But I would just say that, having your systems in place and controlling and dictating the pace is really an important part of what we do, right? Because
Mhm.
you're the expert. And so when you control it, you're the expert with the realtor, you're the expert with the client.
For sure. And then, our staff, dealing with our processor has been the best thing in my 26 years. Weston, I have to give it to him. He's definitely, I compare him. I said, you know what? I was the best processor ever. I think you're almost beating me. You're almost there, Weston. And I think he's probably going to exceed that for sure. But, it's not just us as originators, right? We have a team behind us that do so much more. And I think once we have that down, like I can submit a loan into Weston. He knows I have all my things. I mean, he's reviewing it and out and, 24, 48 hours and bam, it's in underwriting and the underwriters know me. And that's what it is. It's all about your reputation on setting up files because you want that underwriter to grab that file. I learned that as a processor. Oh, here's one of Michelle's files. I'm gonna grab it. I know she's gonna have her stuff together. So just that reputation and you have to work on that and continue that. I think that's been a huge success.
All
Awesome.
right. Well, can you walk us through a typical day as a product production manager? Like, what does your day look like from the moment you're in, and then when you call it a day? Like, how does that look?
I don't think I ever call it a day. I mean, I would say, I'm one of those. I'm an in-office person, so I'm very consistent what I do every single morning. The first thing I do when I wake up is I look at my emails, which I know I'm not supposed to, but that's what I do. Coming into the office, I
I get
start,
on you all about that all the time.
yeah, yeah. And the
Mhm.
last thing I do before I go to bed, I woke up at 2:30 this morning and looked at my email. It's just a thing. But I pretty much go through all my files, make sure I'm good. I'll check in with my, because this is a newer role of me reaching out to my loan officers. Usually they reach out to me if there's a problem. So I'm trying to change that where I'm reaching out to them before the problem exists, just to see if I can, eliminate some stress from them.
Yeah.
Trying to get that through, making sure, we have meetings and, structure my day And then I'm open communication, text I get until, all hours of the night, it seems like, but I'd rather have that than call somebody else.
Yeah. So workaholic like Palmer.
Yes, yes.
I love it though. You guys are great.
Yeah.
Because we pay you to say that. We
Yeah,
pay you to
we
say
we
that.
paid you. I'm gonna pay you an extra bonus for saying that too. Sean, you want to say something good about me? I'll throw you something in there too.
I love Michelle. She's
I have
amazing.
a few
See?
more things. I was kidding. um,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
I think no, I think that's all I have. This was the only question.
Yeah. All right.
So, I mean, just going back real quick to, I guess, let's talk about the relationship you have with realtors. And you talked about what makes, a good, successful relationship. But, what makes a good relationship, a realtor relationship for you?
So I can start. I mean, some of my relationships, I just did at a client appreciation party. Uh, it's our 10th year doing it together with this group, with Rhonda and Russell with Remax. And she gave me an award, and it was like decade award. Well, I've been working with her 2 decades. And how I started that relationship is I just, went to her and say, hey, I want to earn your business. What can I do? Learned her ways. And then that just naturally grew. It grew on educating each other on both sides. Like here's loan side, here's the real estate side. So we can work better for our clients by doing that combined. Then, it grew into a personal relationship where our families were commingling then. Her son is now playing in the NFL. They come to my daughter's wedding, and that's a hard thing to keep your business and your personal life separate, and it still works. And I do that with multiple agents of mine, and it's just the culture of the offices that I'm in, because we're blessed to be in some of these offices where we can see these people every single day face to face. Some I don't get to, so I have another avenue. I'll text, check in. I know when their vacations are, where they're going. I know their families. I know their mom. I mean, and that's kind of where how I've been successful in my business through 26 years. Uh, so it's you're learning something new and you tweak it every now and then. But that's been pretty successful for me.
Okay. And what would you say to realtors that want to know how, you can help get their loans closed faster?
So this is what I try to explain to the agents and make sure that we're doing it as a joint effort, is because the client trusts them first, right? The real estate agent. So once they trust them, they trust and like them, they do business with them, and then that warm handoff to me, so that allows them to go, okay, wait, this agent loves Michelle, should I trust her? Because their stories are, I've done my personal deals with her, my family deals with her, multiple, of their, top clients. So therefore, when it comes to them trusting their biggest investment and purchase of their entire life to a total stranger, they know, oh wait, I can trust Michelle. So we have that conversation, so we know moving forward, they prep them. Michelle's going to ask you for documents. It's okay. Get those to her. She's going to make this as easy as possible for you. So getting all that done up front. And that helps a lot when you're asking for 30 days of pay stubs, and then we need another pay stub. Well, they remembered, oh, wait, the agent said at this point that Michelle would ask for additional things. So having that relationship with the agent makes it smooth process from start to finish.
Gotcha. No, absolutely. What do you think, last question about realtor relationships. What separates elite agents from the average agent, in your opinion?
So an elite agent to me is their communication with their client is top notch, meaning that they don't just want to be in communication with them when they're buying in 30 days, like it's a long term. And two is how professionally they act when there's a problem.
Hmm.
That's because in our industry, guys, we know no matter how much you prepare, something can come out of left field that you had no idea. And then we have to gather ourselves, right? And we have to present that to the agent, and then we got to see how they're going to react. And so that's going to
Mhm.
make a difference. And I've, recently I've seen some just blow me away at how they react. Okay, well, we know that's a problem. How can we fix it? Today I had it.
Mhm.
a value did not make on an appraisal. We talked about it. We walked through it. What can we do next? And I think that's going to make a difference because the clients don't know what we do behind the scenes, and we don't want them to know what we're doing behind the
Hmm.
scenes, right? So that's why we do all the things ahead of that. So we bother them the least if something is going on, or we have an answer with that problem when we come to let them know what's going on.
Right. So basically what I'm hearing you
So
say is let us be the professional and reassure them that we've got it. We're in control and we're working hard to fix the issue, right?
Yeah, so communication and professionalism is key to Elite. That's going to take you over the top of any other agent out there.
Yeah.
and I think one of the things that you and I have talked about like multiple times is that kind of like segueing back to communication, right? Like you had mentioned is kind of like a big bedrock for what makes a successful loan officer. But it kind of goes in hand with being a successful real estate agent too. And you and I have like had conversations about it where we're trying to fine tune our business and what does communication look like even after the transaction is
Mhm.
done, and how do we. I think the biggest thing that I struggle with a lot of times, you might struggle with it too, is like we do a really good job of I don't want to say selling somebody, but we do a really good job of getting somebody initially to trust us with a really big, decision in their life, which we're super grateful for. And a lot of times it's, hey, look, because we're an advisor, right? We're going to help advise you through this process, and then processes that come after this process. But
Yeah.
communication isn't just, to me, communication isn't just necessarily like, hey, look, here's an issue, let's work through it. But it's also communication like, hey, how's it going? Is the house still meeting your needs? Are you still in a good spot financially? How's the family? And communicating that way, whether it's, through text, email, mailing, or client appreciation event. I love that. I don't do client appreciation events. I wouldn't say that I don't do them because like I don't believe in them. I have not done them, and it's one thing that I've looked at your business, and as you do all these events and stuff like that, like it makes sense why you're getting repeat business a lot, right? And you're
Mhm.
in the lives of your clients years after, um, because the thing like a client appreciation event or like a pie party, you're providing back to the tribe, the people that you've cultivated yourself around, which is like phenomenal. So,
Well, your hobby's also
um,
not event planning, Palmer. So,
it is
I'll do
not,
it for you,
dude.
Palmer.
I would tell you if somebody asked me to plan an event, um, like we're just not going to happen. This is not going to. How how many times have we been talking about this year alone, Sean and Alex? I'm looking at both of you on here because you're supposed
yeah.
to you're supposed to help elevate me and hold me accountable for things. But how many times have we talked about, hey, we need to do a lunch and learn, we need to set up something, and then we just you
I
guys
can
don't do
help
it. I
you.
blame you. I blame you
I
why I'm
can.
not doing it.
Needs
Yeah.
improvement. Needs improvement.
Yeah. See, look, Michelle says she can help us. I
I
think
can
we need
help you
help.
guys. All you gotta do is
Yeah. All
ask.
right. Look, here's what
Yeah.
I want to do. Here's my budget.
But
Uh,
this is how I kind of look at it. For my personal experience right now, what's going on. The average person buys and sells a house 7 to 10 years, right? When you
mhm.
tell that statistic to somebody, they're like, no, there's no way. It is true. Like I've experienced it
Yeah.
in my purchases. Here I am rolling into year 7, and life changes happen. That's why looking and being in, we're talking about those post calls.
Mhm.
That 3 months, 6 months, a year to our clients. Somebody would have called me and found out, oh wait, she's having her, a grandchild. She's having her, Sadie Mae is coming into the world. She may want to move closer to Sadie Mae. Well,
Yeah.
that's what's happening, right? So that conversation that just kind of keeps top of mind, looking at social, keeping up with them, you can see what's going on in their life events, so you can stay in communication with them. Regards to back to the client appreciation party, I was talking to a couple and I said, it's crazy. They bought an Airbnb right next to AT&T last year at the client appreciation party, we talked about it. We got them approved. They bought it, and they have been booked solid during FIFA, right? So their return was enormous by doing that. So that event created that talk track. So just kind of, little bitty things like that will make a big difference in your business. Not saying you're going to do it, it happens every time, but when it does happen, it's a really good story to tell for sure.
No, no, I love that.
How do you naturally approach those conversations? Like, is it, because we kind of talked about that last week. It's not natural for us in certain scenarios to, go to events and ask for business or have those talk tracks. So how does that happen for you?
Well, you're not asking about business first. You're asking about
Mm.
them. You're getting to know what's going on in their life. Then that talk track will lead into, we'll start talking business at that point, right? It may
Sure.
not the first conversation, but maybe conversation number two, or they remember, oh, I talked to Michelle at this event. She mentioned, we always ask for referrals, right? So that was the
Right.
point that they're calling me, right? When they don't even know that because we had that conversation at the beginning. So it's not all business up front. Get to know your clients, get to know what their situation is, life events, because marriages, babies, divorces, all those things keep us rolling, right? And
Hmm.
we want to be able to help them, and so you just have to communicate with them.
No,
Business
that
up
totally makes sense.
front, party at her event. That's what it is.
Yes, yes, I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. What were you going to say, Sean?
No,
I
I
rudely
was gonna
interrupted
say,
you.
like, I agree because I like the last it's few conversations I've had at soccer practice where we're just talking as soccer dads, have turned into like mortgage conversations, and then people were asking me for advice, and I've gotten a couple applications and some inquiries and stuff just through those talk tracks, right? And it's just natural because I'm not soliciting to them. I'm not trying to get their business. I'm just having conversations that are naturally occurring, right? And really just trying to get to know them as people.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think, if you sit into it, I think that's the weird dichotomy, like with what we struggle as salespeople, is like we're always naturally on guard on like, what can I, I was listening to, a podcast where a loan officer was getting interviewed, and he said his wife would laugh about it all the time because they would be in, I don't know, the grocery store or like, a restaurant or something like that. And he has like he feels most comfortable talking about mortgages and real estate. And so he would just naturally always gravitate towards that conversation in his conversation, works for him. He has a very like this educational spin on it. Like he's not trying to sell anybody, but we live in a weird kind of like thing where for me, a lot of times it is hard for me to have conversations with people that is outside of work because I'm so enveloped in what we do, and so, but when you become more genuine when you're having conversations with people and it doesn't feel like you're trying to sell them something, and I think
Right.
people pick up on that.
Yeah, and the big thing is what we do is a little bit different than the real estate side, right?
Hmm.
We're digging in their financial business, and
Hmm.
people are
All of
very
it,
protective of that. And
calling them out
so,
on it too.
yeah, no, you don't call them out.
No, you don't.
You suggest.
What is this charge?
Yeah, so
No, we
they've
don't.
got
We
to,
don't do that.
yeah. So you got to trust them, right? I mean, they
Yes.
have to trust you with their information. Maybe they're embarrassed about their credit or embarrassed they didn't save enough, and so you have to be very careful. And so while you're building that begin conversation, you're that leeway of you can trust me, right?
Yeah.
And so that's going to be because it's harder. When you start getting into friends and family, getting in their business, financial business, it's totally
Hmm.
different than selling a house to them,
Well,
getting in
and
their
I think I
financial
heard
stuff.
somebody recently say that, like we never get business from friends and family, but those that we do business with and for and get them into houses become like friends and family.
Hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have one question for you, and then we're gonna do a lightning round,
Oh, I
or
like
just a
it.
fire way.
I need a button.
You
Okay.
need a, oh yeah. You remember the show No Whammy? It was like
Yeah,
the
no
thing.
whammy, no whammy, no
Do you
whammy
know the
Mhm.
going
story
around.
with that? Do you know the
No.
original story with that? So like there was a guy that found out, he watched that show and he found out that there was only like 15 or 16 variations of like where the thing would move, and he memorized all of them. And he got on the show and
And then more.
he cleaned them out. Like he cleaned it
Nice.
was like in the early 90s or late 80s or something like that. He cleaned them out. And then like they lost all this money, and I think they ended up trying to sue this guy, but he ended up winning because he's like, "Look, it's not my fault that your game system, like
It's
you only
flawed.
had 15 different like variations. I figured it out, you know,
Sorry, I'm a
like
genius.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude. There's a documentary on it. I think it's called
They
like No Whammy or something like that.
they
But
did the
yeah.
same
Oh,
thing with
nice.
what was the other game? What's the one with Bob Barker and now it's
Hmm.
what's the name? You know what I'm talking about?
The
Price
Price
Yeah.
is
is
Right.
Right.
Price is Right. Yeah, they had a guy that figured out all of the prices. Like he memorized, he knew
Hmm.
exactly whatever. So he had like the perfect game, and
Hmm.
he did it twice. He got on the
Hmm.
show twice somehow and had two
Not once, but twice.
twice. Got had two perfect games. They made a documentary about him too. So
Uh-huh.
yeah,
That's
it's pretty
funny.
crazy how people do that.
All right, so I'm always interested in kind of knowing this, but what is one loan scenario that you thought would not close, but it closed? Maybe a better way to ask this is maybe where what was one scenario that sticks out to your head where a client thought that no way Michelle is going to be able to help me, and you made it happen?
Sean, that just happened for us, didn't it?
Yeah,
So we
not too long
had,
ago.
yeah, yeah, we had a loan that it's all about how you structure, right? And you can
Yeah.
structure at the beginning, and then once you get the documentation, it can change. So that was the
Mhm.
case in this deal. Like it kept changing, like the variable income, this happened, that happened. So my mind, that's my favorite part of originating a loan is figuring it out. You can ask
Mhm.
Weston, my processor, we'll have him on, and you'll have to ask him, Michelle, we'll figure out some loans. That's
He's on next
crazy.
week.
Is he?
We're
Oh,
gonna get him on
great.
camera. Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
I want to join. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But that's what's fun for me to figure it out. And so we went one route that didn't work, but we threw in down payment assistance with we put an MCC with it, make the ratios right. And it was down to the penny, and the penny was like 53 point whatever it was. Um, and it worked. Like it
Mm.
was lowering the insurance, lowering the here, and it was just a little game of, it was down to the dollar.
Hmm.
And when those situations happen, I have that conversation with the client. Are you prepared for this financial commitment moving forward? Right? Because I don't want
Hmm.
to
Oh
put
yeah.
anybody in something because I don't want to hear from them a year or so from now that they're in trouble. Right? So that one was a very successful one. They were very happy, went to the closing table with less money because we added the DPA. So it was a proud moment in my career, I would have to
Yeah,
say.
there you go.
I'll clap
Yeah,
all over.
it's like a game of Tetris a lot of times with the numbers. It's like number Tetris.
I was like,
It's frustrating
challenge.
too. Yeah,
Yeah, I
there you
love it.
go.
Challenge.
I've actually dreamt the answer to a loan before, like that was really difficult, and
Yeah.
it was bothering me. The VP of the company had brought me this escalation file and said you got to make these two files work for the same lady. She's got to refinance these houses. She's really upset with the last loan officer, and I could not figure it out. And in the middle of the night, I woke up and was like, I got it. I know how to fix this file, and I did it the next day. So I feel
Nice.
you on that. It is That's the
Dude,
most fun part of the job.
you have nightmares. That is a bring them up work.
We do. We do have
All
Yeah.
right,
nightmares.
lightning round. Ready? You just first answer that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Don't think about it.
Okay.
FHA or conventional?
FHA all the way.
Morning or night?
Morning.
Favorite food?
Pasta.
Vacation or staycation?
Vacation.
Dream vacation.
Kauai.
Favorite movie?
Sound of Music.
Ooh, good one. Favorite TV show?
Friends.
Friends? Oh,
Friends.
yeah. Oh, okay. All right. One app you can't live without.
Amazon.
Is that yeah, I guess it is an app. All right, I'll give that to you.
Mhm.
Best
It's
advice you've ever
amazing.
received. It is. Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
you pay money and then stuff shows up at your house. Best
Smooth.
advice you've ever received.
So my husband has a saying, and the saying is a little more try.
Mm.
It's a little adds a little more humor to it. So whenever I'm like, honey, I got #1 in the company this month, it goes a little bit more try. You could have done more. And
Mm.
it's humor, but it's a spin-off of 1% better. Every day you
Mm.
try to make yourself 1% better, right? And so that's kind of stuck with me. My aunt, it's a thing in my family, the saying, a little more try. It's gone through the offices that I work in. It's gone into his offices at his work, and I have it framed in my home office at home. Just a little more try.
Mm. I love that. A little more
Nice.
try. I'm gonna steal it. Well,
Wow.
Yeah.
Michele, thank you for everything that you do for us, and not only us, but our clients and our referral partners that we work with. You pour in a lot to our group, and I know that you pour in a lot to everybody that you come in contact with. So, if anybody listening learned something today, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe. Every week, we're going to sit down with amazing people from real estate, from lending, from various different businesses, help you learn something new. So if you are also tuning in and you'd like to be a guest on the show, reach out to us. What's our email? Alex, what's our email? 3men at a table podcast at gmail.com. I think that's what we've
Yeah,
got.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Okay. Cool. Or just, send a
Will be.
message to whatever. What is that?
I said it will be. If it's not already,
I
it will
think
be.
that's what it is. I think that's what
Okay.
it is. Yeah, look, episode
I,
2, right?
I,
Like
was-
we're still
I was
on.
thinking we were going to change the name to Three Men and a Lady now.
Yes, I like
We
3 men
that.
and a
we
lady.
got
There we
Michelle on
go.
here,
Well,
so we may have to.
Actually, that should
I
be.
would be the lady. Okay, just so
Yeah.
you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It
That
was
should be like
Alex.
our
That was
podcast. Is
Sean.
every time we have a guest on, we just like make them now a host on the podcast. So
Yeah.
like episode 100, it's 104 people just asking questions.
Yes.
I love
Love
it. All
it.
right. Well, thank you again, Michele, for joining us. And then Michele, go ahead and drop your phone number and then drop your email where you can be reached if anybody wants to reach out to you
Yeah.
directly for any mortgage finance needs or event planning.
Event plan. I don't know about the event planning, but I
Yeah.
may.
Yeah.
Phone number 972-935-4204. Best way to get a hold of me. Or you can simply email michelle.creech at meridian.loans with an S. And there's only one L in Michelle. Remember that. And I would love to help anybody that I can.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right. I love it. Well, thank you again. And yeah, we'll see you next week where we've got
Yeah.
a processor, Mr.
The best
Weston
in the world.
Cornick. Yeah.
Excited for
He's
him.
gonna enlighten us on a lot of really fun stories that he gets to experience. So thank you guys, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you.
Peace out.
Pasa solo